this doesn't happen. Without the repeat customers that we have, without the repeat customers, without the repeat people coming in here, it doesn't happen as well. So thank you very much. One last bit before I get to the final. If you could come here for just a second. Art Singer has been a staple of the whole event for the last 5 or 6 years. Last year he brought Samantha, his daughter, and the year before, but she's been kind of in the background and helping at a cursory level. This year, she saved an immense amount of work. Out of all of the folks that have volunteered their time and their effort, I would like to say thank you very much to Samantha, because if you have an ID, if you have a lanyard, if you have all this stuff that was put together, she assembled for those packages for me, would save me hours and hours of time. So Samantha, thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. All right. I got just one more thing before we get on to the rest of this, and the Love Fest will end. We'll move on. We've got some people who normally make this event that haven't been able to make it this year. And it's usually not that big of a deal for them to make it over here, seeing that they're just from Europe. I don't know why they're not here. But
it's a long swim.
It's a long swim. But here's what I'd like to do. And it's just a thank you to them for making the effort, for coming over here the past couple of years. And if anyone wasn't here last year, well, you guys at Sox, we got engaged right here. As a thank you to them, as a just more of a nod to them to say thank you from us. We have a camera that's rolling right now. What I'd like to do is bring the camera up here and have everyone just on the count of 3 say, "We miss you." To both Simon, who's at Simon Parsons, and to Yuka and Satu. So if we could bring the camera up.
Sound off for him, guys.
Simple. We miss you in a wave. That'd be great. So 1, 2, 3. We miss you. Thank you very much. Okay, now we're that's the reason why you're sitting here. There are mainly 2 people that without them this doesn't happen. Really, this doesn't happen. And one is the big goofy guy in the back. His name is Nick Brown. If you have any barbecue, if you have anything to do with anything on Thursday night, that's how it happens. And without further ado, I'll introduce you to the other one here. Paul is a good 3/4 of what happens here. He's part of the drag strip. He does the barbecue. He does this. He talks at the car show. He basically takes everything that's loose and wraps it together and pulls it together. Between him and Art, which Art refuses to walk in here with you guys, it's too crowded for Art. I want some people on their feet for Mr. Paul Branson.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm just part of the scene. This is my town, and me and the kidzilla back there, we just wait for this thing every year. Now Sunday afternoon, just like every year, I'm going to tell him I'm never, ever, ever going to do this again. And then,
me either.
And then like August, September, I start calling him and I say, you know, I got an idea, you know, and so we go from there. So, but we have such a great time, and it's not so much the event, it's not so much the drag racing, it's not so much the car show, it's the people that are here. The social group, this gathering, it's unique, you know. Don't know if anybody caught this a couple of days ago. Guy comes driving down the street, Z32, has never heard of Branson Z Fest before in his life, okay? Breaks down across the street from this event, has no idea where he's going to find Z32 parts.
That's Providence.
And And there were some Nebraska guys and some Iowa guys, and they were kind of hanging around. They went over to look at the General Lee, and there's this guy just got water pouring out from underneath his hood, and got the wife and the kids with him, and he's just like, oh my God, where am I going to find Z32 parts? And they said, well, what room are you in? And he goes, what? He says, dude, aren't you at the Z Fest? And he says, what's a Z Fest? Well, what do you get broke? And he said, oh, where am I going to find heater hoses for a Z32? Oddly enough, he found some here. I think Dave Sadley had a whole entire set in the box. I think the guys from, I can't remember who was it, Travis and Shane. I know a bunch of these guys went over there. They fixed him right up. They had a big time. He kind of came over here, came out to the drag strip with his boy, you know, had a big time. Another guy just absolutely, it amazes me how many local people have no idea about Z Fest. And I do my darndest every time I see a Z car sitting somewhere, whether it's a 350 or 240Z or a little Z31, Z32. I carry bills in this car that say, I see you've got a Z. There's a bunch of other people just like you, and they are coming to Branson in June. You know, I leave my number. And I've had several people call me, and several people, you know, want to know more about it, and tell them to go to the website, or if they want to know more information. If they need parts, if they want to buy a car, if they want to sell a car, this is an awesome place to come. So, and like I said, it's not so much the event, it's the people that are here that I like to do this for, because y'all are great people. Y'all are ready to go help anybody at a moment's notice. You drop, go whatever you need to do. We can find parts, we'll find people, we'll do something. And that's really what I think is so cool about this whole event. Y'all need to give yourselves a big hand, because it's awesome. I like it. Didn't really have anything outstanding this year that catches my eye. You know, I always kind of look for something. Things like, oh, I don't know, 145 and a 65, you know, things like that.
Who did that?
Yeah, who did that? You know, little things like that. So drama was a little less this year, which is not a bad deal. 2 of my cars were in the basement until 2 o'clock last morning, and then 4 guys invaded my house at 2 o'clock and stole one of them and brought it back out here, and the damn thing's running now. It's out in the parking lot. It's cool stuff like that I think is awesome. But no, we didn't really have anything that really stuck out. I always kind of wait and I look for those little things, but we had a good year, and again, I appreciate it. Drag strip this year, we had about, I think it was about a total of 37 cars went out the drag strip. It was a little iffy on the weather. We didn't know what was going to happen there. Looked like it could get kind of cold and could get kind of rainy, and as it turned out, it did. But we got there about 2 o'clock. The track had some issues, and we had to fight sensors for about 45 minutes, and after we got those lined out, we started making some passes. Made a few notes. No trophies awarded for these little items here. These are just interesting tidbits of information, things that you might want to know about. They're worthy of notification anyway. Most passes. Typically, I kind of keep track of how many cars go down the track, and on average, you know, most guys will go 5, 6, 7, 8 times, you know, and then some people just make 1 or 2 passes. They're just kind of curious. Had a car this year, made 17 passes, 3 or 4 hours. Granted, it did have 2 different drivers, but still 17 passes. That's hot lapping a car pretty quick. Little Z31, Mr. David Schnoenbellen and his lovely guest this year, Vanessa. Is that correct? This is your first time. Dave's been here about 3 or 4 times. Brad, you've been Midwest too, haven't you? I see you up in, yeah, you were in Nebraska here a couple years ago. So that was the team effort. Put 17 runs on a car. Had a car, and I'm not real certain because some of the numbers got a little jumbled on the first run there. Before I could tell them that I want to put a Z in front of that number so it doesn't mix it up with the other cars. But I'm pretty sure this is close to accurate. Had a car made 13 passes by itself, and it was a fast car. Mr. Ray, he made 13 passes from what I'm seeing. Could be 14.